Hello, this is Matt from tracymatt.co.uk, and here I am with the IDEOS S7 Slim. I'm going to do a quick unboxing video for you and look at this, well, I guess you'd call it a tablet really rather than a handset. As inside we have the device, which is 7-inch, has a 7-inch screen. I'm going to come back to that in just a second though, while we take a look at some of the other stuff that we have in the box. So underneath, all packaged up, have a couple of boxes that we're going to just take a look inside. So let's start with a small thin one to begin with, in which we have the quick start guide and warranty card and nothing else. Then I have this small box in which we have charger, which is a USB, has a USB connector on the top and UK 3-pin plug. It's quite hefty actually, it's a pretty large charger, but then I suspect that the device itself will draw a fair amount of power in order to charge, being large and probably having a fairly large battery. Also inside we have a USB cable. Now this is a rather unusual USB cable. On one end we have a standard USB connector, but coming out of it we have 3 cables, and on the other end we have USB and micro USB and mini USB connectors, and also a sort of bullet style connector, so that's for charging up your handset or tablet, and then 2 other connectors. Pretty useful cable actually, and one that it would be handy to get hold of. I think I might get myself one of these because I have devices that are both mini and micro USB, so handy to have that all in one cable. Then you've got the battery, which is pretty huge. It is a 3200 milliamp hour battery, certainly one of the largest batteries that we've had for a while, but then again it's not a handset, it's kind of a tablet. So let's take a look at the unit itself. So the S7 Slim, it's got a screen protector on the front, which has obviously been taken off at some other time. Let's peel that off because there's a load of air bubbles underneath it, and take a look around. So first and foremost we have that large 7-inch display. It is 800 by 480 pixels because it is in a landscape orientation. Home, menu and back buttons, and on this side we have camera and an LED indicator. Looking around we have a micro HDMI connector, a micro USB and a loudspeaker grill. Toward the bottom, micro SD HD memory card slot, which is fully exposed on the outside. We have also a series of connectors on the bottom, implying that we could actually put this into some sort of cradle or dock for charging and that kind of stuff. On this side we have an up and down volume control, another loudspeaker and a headphone connector. Note that we didn't get any headphones with this in it though, but we would suggest that, well, I guess you could obviously use your own. Power button on this side, and then power connector, which is obviously where we plug in the charger. On the back we do have a camera, which is just a simple 3.1 megapixel camera, autofocus but no flash. Typically I don't think I really want to use this to take many photos. Back cover, not sure how that comes off. We go like so. So the back cover, huge portion of the back comes off, and then we pop in the battery like so. SIM card goes in this bit here, requiring removal of the battery to change the SIM card, no big deal. And then we pop the back cover on. Just lay down to do that, there we go. Black at the back is completely plastic. It is sort of almost like a pearlescent or opaque sort of finish to the back, but it is plastic. Around the outside is also plastic, and the front again around the bezel, apart from obviously the glass, is also plastic. Quite a large bezel there as well, but that means that, you know, at least you've got somewhere to place your hands to hold it rather than touching the screen. So we can see if we can power up. Yep, there we go. While we wait for that to come on, let me run down the rest of the spec. GSM, it's tri-band, and HDPA, it's dual band. Not going to, well, it's going to work in most places, but it won't work absolutely throughout the world. Quite a lot of places when you're roaming. Dimensions: 200mm wide, 110mm tall, and 12.5mm thick. Really quite heavy though. It's 440 grams, so it does feel like quite a weight in your hand. It might not sound like a lot, but I think holding this for a long period of time, certainly one-handed, would lead to sort of fatigue. Display 800 by 480 pixels. It is capacitive touchscreen TFT, but it's not Super LCD or anything like that. It's a straightforward LCD or TFT display. Specification other than that, well, I don't have a listed processor speed in the specification that I've been issued with, so we'll actually confirm that when we do the review, and alongside the actual video here I'll put the specification. Wi-Fi supports 802.11b G&N standards with Wi-Fi hotspot mode, Bluetooth 2.1 with 82-bit DP, and we also have GPS and that kind of stuff. Finally, Android OS 2.2 Froyo rather than Gingerbread. I want to open a Wi-Fi and connect to a Wi-Fi network. We'll just have a quick look at web browsing. So we'll just wait for that to establish that we have Wi-Fi networks. There we go. Connect to this one. We have this sort of squat QWERTY keyboard there at the bottom. Although it's nice and wide, it is squashed in the vertical. So keys are they look a little bit condensed, but they are, I guess, kind of large enough. There we go. Let's connect. And one thing that is apparent to me already, having just typed in the password on the screen and that kind of stuff, is that the capacitive touchscreen is okay, but it just requires a little bit more pressure from your finger than is typical. This home screen, we've got location, time, and weather, and we can swipe through. Google search for voice search, Android market, and alarms. Again, swiping through. We've got Yahoo, widget, browser, and RSS reader. Swiping again, we've got a blank page. We've got entertainment, camera and camcorder. Again, another blank page. Communications, just an email icon there. Again, blank page. Then favorites, settings calculator, and file manager. Again, blank page. You notice that as we've gone along through here, the bits along the bottom have also moved across, which means that we can quickly get between these portions, but also we can swipe through as well. Button at the side has all of our applications listed. So in terms of what we've got in here, there's a few things that are a bit different. High space, memo, music, Aldeco. Is there any more? Try that again. There's one more row at the bottom. Then you've got weather and voice search and YouTube. But all looks reasonably straightforward. Let's take a look at the browser. The icon's a bit different to the standard. Let's start again. Am I off the wall there? There we go. Loads pretty quick. Obviously I'm using broadband and Wi-Fi, but it's working quite well. In terms of the display, well, it's 800 by 480 pixels, which on a 7-inch screen it isn't fantastic, I have to say. It's alright. Maybe I'm being overly critical. But having used the Samsung Galaxy Note as I have over the last couple of weeks, which has an extremely high-res display and a smaller screen, this is just not quite as good, certainly for reading text like that. I mean, obviously we can zoom in and we get the text rendered obviously larger. Double tap, zoom is supported, but it's just not quite as good as some of the others. But for media consumption and web browsing, I guess the handset will be fine, and it works okay. Back home, and we'll take a look at Android Market. I want to sign into the market so that we can download Quadrant. We'll do a benchmark. Let's sign in. There we go. So let's sign in, finish, accept terms and conditions, Android Market's loading. Got a synchronization top bar here. Obviously, you're showing that we've got some activity. Wi-Fi, brightness, which is set to full now. Battery capacity running at 28%, and then got the controls here for turning Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, the orientation, and the brightness. Changing those. Network error occurred. Fantastic. There we go. So you've got Android Market, which is running here in landscape orientation. You've got apps, which have various categories, games by genre, and then my apps. So unlike, say, HTC, Sony Ericsson, there isn't a Huawei recommends or anything like that. Just so you have your standard apps. It's updating Google Maps and Gmail at the moment as well. I'm going to just come back out of here, do a quick search for quadrant. I'll say the screen just seems to want a little bit more pressure from your finger. You have to be a little bit more positive when pressing. That's downloading. Come back out of there. When pressing the buttons at the side here, capacitive buttons at the side, there's a small vibrate from inside, sort of like a haptic feedback, which isn't noticeable when you're using the on-screen keyboard. Well, it doesn't work when you use on-screen keyboard. It is only when you use these buttons at the side. So let's go and take a look at quadrant. Let's go around this way. And we want a full benchmark. Interesting to see how this runs on here. Interestingly, CPU says it's run 0 out of 12. Memories run 1, IOs run. So you've got running 18 frames a second, about 20 frames a second there. Only 11. 40-ish frames a second there. And then between, well, 10 and 12, 13 there. Fantastic. Alright, failed. Let's try that one more time. There we go, that's better. Looks like it's actually performing properly this time. There we go, 18 frames a second, 20-ish. Around 40 frames a second there. And finally 12, 13 frames a second running there as well. So let's go and get our results. Try again. There we go. Not the fastest by any means. 1160 is our benchmark number. We'll run that a couple more times because that was a little bit iffy the first time, so we'll run it a couple more times before we actually did a review, but we'll give you an indication. I mean, this is design, the Huawei tablet is it's designed to be sort of slightly, I guess, more budget in price. It's not high end by any means, so perhaps that's indicative of some of the things like I've criticised, maybe unfairly, the performance and the actual screen. But the screen, as I say, 800 by 480 pixels, that doesn't seem to be what the proportions are anyway, in terms of aspect ratio. It seems that things are a little stretched when they're running there, and when the icons themselves just look a little stretched rather than being proper proportions. But anyway, that's a quick look at the IDEOS S7 Slim. We'll have a full review for you over the next couple of weeks. In the meantime, if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's twitter.com/TracyandMatt or facebook.com/TracyandMatt.co.uk. Our thanks to Clove Technology for actually sending the IDEOS S7 Slim to us for review, you can buy the S7 Slim over at clove.co.uk. I'll be back soon with some more videos and reviews on tracyandmac.co.uk, but for now, thanks for watching.